Hello, Hatting. You're early. We can chat. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I'm gonna mute you and then unmute you. Oh, there you're unmuted. Unless you want to try and exit and rejoin. You can hear me all right. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so I
Perfect.
connected with my cell phone. I don't know why my computer didn't want to connect.
It is a weird thing that Teams does. I am convinced, I'm a conspiracy theorist, that Teams and Zoom and they all do these funny things, and then we're like, it's my laptop or it's this, and when in actual fact, it's stuff they're doing on their platform that's affecting us, and we're like, why is it not working?
Yeah.
Hatting, I was just having a look at your LinkedIn profile, and I love the way you changed things on your company page and adopted the suggestions and everything. So that's super great. You and I, in addition to today, you and I want to have that sort of visibility second kind of part of the session. So you let me know when you're ready for that. I mean, it's felt like a lot. How did you find the challenge with the pace and everything?
So the first few weeks was wonderful because I was on break and I wasn't that busy. So I was actually really able to put in some thought into what I want to do and how I want to do it. The last 2 weeks was just like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get back into that rhythm again?
I know.
So it was wonderful and I really actually enjoyed it. There was a sense of, hey, you actually do have something to offer. Much like I said in my post, it's like one plays small because you're scared to. I don't know why we're scared. Anyway,
because we're human. Because we're human.
Yeah. So it really inspired me to actually go on it, and because of it, I've actually been invited to actually present at a conference.
Yes, that's
and
fantastic.
That was based on I think that was based on my first post. So I'm actually, as I'm talking to you now, I'm actually busy working on my abstract, which is in March next year in Cape Town.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Now why does Tembakazi, she is on Teams. She says she's on Teams, but no one's let her into the meeting. Sorry.
No way.
I'm going to take a picture and say, I don't know what meeting she's trying to be let into, but
I thought we were more that actually said 3:30 would work.
Yeah, no, this is the bigger group. There were 5. Look, everyone will get here eventually, but I just really don't like having to baby people when I send a link on their email, like, get it, use it, what must I do?
Exactly.
But
No, I get it.
there's a 5:30 meeting, so if you can't make this one, there's a later one. I think that is really exciting news for me to hear, because immediately
it's fantastic.
For you, there's like there's a thing, which is fantastic, which is super great. So when you and I have that close-off session, I think the important thing is just to be able to talk about what does the next 3 months look like to keep your visibility up and to keep you there.
For a second.
Okay. Do you not want to try and join?
I'm wondering, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Yes.
Yay! Because that phone thing was not going to be great. I think that's wonderful. So, you know, the kind of, oh, what have I got to say? Finding the time, all of the resistance, immediately you get such a great wing. It almost sometimes feels like cheating, and what cheating in a good way. It feels like a shortcut. It feels like people are shortcut, and it's like, I either go, why is everybody not leaning into this and using it? But it's not the same for everyone. There's so many different dynamics.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that is super great, super great. Here is Tumi. Hey, Tumi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, friend.
Excited to see you. Sorry, I'm just wondering why Tish can't. She said she's waiting in the meeting, but I don't see her in the meeting, right? She's not in the participants.
Maybe we can post the link in the chat and they can add.
Oh, that would be amazing if you could post the link in the chat. I don't
let me do that.
WhatsApp on my. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. The bridge.
I hope it works. The copy join info.
Yes, you have. You've sent it. But...
Okay. It's doing it. Ish. Why is it? Oh,
there we go. She's in. Welcome. Okay, yay, Tish, you've managed to find us. Thanks to me for sharing that.
Problem.
We're just waiting for Natalie and Robin, but we'll jump into. Hatting was sharing his super great, being invited to a conference from speaking at a conference from his first post, which is
that's nice.
Great.
Sure.
What?
Yeah.
Hello, Tish.
Hi guys, that is so excited, Hatting.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm also excited about that. I think there's a lot that will come from that again as well. But it's now about keeping the momentum online, remaining relevant.
Consistency is so important. While we're just checking for Natalie and Robin to jump into the call, I want to tell you all, I'm not sure if you've seen, some of you may have seen Garth Manty, the AI evil genius who creates incredible things on LinkedIn and goes super viral. I mean, it's ridiculous the way his posts go all over the place. And I asked him, I just said to him, you got to come onto the Career Revolution podcast, because I remember at the beginning of last year, he didn't have work. He had left Capitec. He's a marketing specialist. He'd left Capitec and he thought that he would just naturally get some work. And 6 months down the line, he was sort of, ego was proving him wrong. He didn't have the work. And then he started leaning into AI, and he's gone into like working around the world. His posts gather 600 comments and likes and just all over the show.
What's his name again, so I didn't hear it?
Garth Manthe. It's Manthe, but it's Manthe. I will copy his profile and share it with you because it was so interesting talking to him. So he's a super down-to-earth guy, and he was like, of course, I'd be great. You know, I'd love the opportunity of sharing on the Career Revolution podcast because he loves guiding and teaching. And the first thing I said, I mean, the whole thing is recorded and you'll get to hear it all, but I said to him, from when you realized like you got to double down and you're looking for work and business, he knew that he didn't want to be in the corporate. He knew that he needed to grow his own business. What was the big shift that happened for you with LinkedIn? And he was like, it actually wasn't a shift. It was survival. I needed to find, you know, where the most amount of potential customers and clients could be. It was while that was happening, when his first post went completely viral, and that post was then the artwork that he created. In that post, they asked him to, some agency said, can we use this in cans and whatever. I mean, it's just like the type of stuff that is bizarrely strange, but he said two things to me. He said, firstly, consistency, consistency, consistency. He said, and his biggest fear was after that post went completely viral and his DMs blew up and he was being invited places and opportunities started to roll in. His biggest fear was, am I going to be able to pull this off again? Is my next post going to be able to garner as many likes and comments? And it was so interesting hearing him talk. And he realized, he said, at the end of the day, I was competing against myself. His best post was the nemesis that he was competing against. And he said, but then he realized he needed to just throw that out the window because ultimately his ego was holding him, you know, fear, all the negative things like fear, thinking, ego, whatever. And he said, so then I just started to play. And rather than worry about, would I be able to beat the best post, he started to just play and have fun. And he said a big shift for him was when in his corporate career, he wouldn't have time to do stuff with his son because it always comes down to the thing that's most important and purposeful to us. His wife's a teacher, so she would always be there. She'd had the flexibility of hours and long school holidays, and he was always work. And he said when that happened, suddenly the work came in, things were going well, not immediately, but he was able to start seeing that he can make this work on his own. And the simplicity of being able to be at his son's concert, rugby game, whatever, and he just had this, like he had it, the portal, this connection to the world in his pocket. And he said it just completely revolutionized how he was thinking about hard work and what's important and everything. And I love that. I love that he kind of just shared all of those stories and that insight. Who follows him and who's seen him? Tesh, you've just had a look at him now, I think. He's super great.
No, I followed him. I follow him actually, but I haven't seen his thing. I'm actually looking for it.
Okay. Yeah, it was last year around March. So it was March 24 that things started to shift and change for him. I think we're just going to keep going. I'm not sure where Natalie is, and I'm not sure where Robin is. So we'll hit record. And jump into it. So firstly, I want to start off, guys, to me, Tesh, Hatting, Natalie and Robin, you're meant to be here, but you're not here yet, and Anton, but that's absolutely fine. Congratulations. Well done to all of you. I've gone onto all of your profiles and checked things out, and all of you have shifted beyond just, oh, this is an okay post, to really getting some great engagement and some great kind of waking up the algorithm, telling LinkedIn that there's something important happening here. So I want to hear from any of you or all of you at the same time. Just Hatting was sharing his exciting stuff. How did it feel? Like, what was your shift from, oh my gosh, did I actually commit to doing this? Did I actually give my money to Licia? Now I have to go and do these posts, to this might be working. What's happening? I mean, I'm going to actually start with you, Tesh, because it's just the three of us. I'm going to ask you because I know you were reluctantly on LinkedIn, yet you recognized you needed to do this. And your first post went tick, 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 started warming up that algorithm and going, there comes Robin. So tell us, Tesh, what were your thoughts, feelings? What was going on for you?
To be honest with you, I love LinkedIn. It's one of my platforms. But having that voice on LinkedIn has been such a struggle for me. It's such a, like I always repost people's things, and the conversations that are there are so intellectual that I always think I'm behind the curve of some sort. And as you know, my career, from a career perspective, I'm basically in Garrett's shoes right now, his shoes last year, where I've been trying to get employed and it's not working, and I'm now starting my own thing. So, the to be honest, what the first thing after I posted my first one, because you said I must do it in 3 posts because it was just too long, what I was saying was so close to my heart that I felt some type of way and people didn't like or didn't share and comment. And then I let go of that. And then I posted my second one and my third one. I think that was, I stopped looking at the comments, I stopped looking at the likes, I stopped looking at the reposts. And that really helped me do the second two. And then I realized that other people were commenting like 5 days later. It was most of you guys, but there were other people as well. So I went back and actually made comments and linked my page to it. And I think that really helped me a little bit. But to be honest, after that, I am also moving back home. And so my life just went haywire because I was just like, you know what, this is the life that I'm choosing and I'm doing it properly. And like all the lessons with your portal are really going to stick with me because I saved all your posts on the group. So I think it's that consistency you're saying is so needed, and I always go on LinkedIn every day. So to me now, a voice is a voice, and the more you do it, the more I will be better and the more I'll be confident in doing it. So I think the first thing, and saying things, even if it's not intellectual, it's more emotional. That's what I like about how LinkedIn is evolutionized and revolutionized, because they moved away from those intellectual, oh my God, be an opinion leader about a certain topic. It's more of the link of life to our careers, so I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to continue in that light. And I've been seeing other people's posts on the group, and I read them and I like them, and I'm like, wow, this is it. And you get those posts and hitting like you're a real life example of what can happen, and that's what I want. So I'm putting myself in a position to be that. And so it was good foundation, as much as freaking scared. But now I'm like, I comment everywhere and I post. I just did my logo for my brand. So yeah, I'm gonna share that before we leave. But yeah, that's basically what I feel. I think it was a good start, and thank you for getting out of my crazy head.
Well done to you. You did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. I want to just say one thing. And I know that life happens, and I know that it's like, oh, and how am I going to do that? Even when life is happening, even when it feels like the last thing you want to do, you've got no energy left within you, honor the original post that you did by posting an image and writing. Since you stopped posting in the last week, you've been resharing other people's posts. I would rather you not even reshare anyone else's posts, just comment But so if life is too busy, comment on those posts, but don't start resharing them, because it tends to take away from this wonderful, I'm a creator and I've got something to say, which you're queuing to LinkedIn. As soon as you start resharing, LinkedIn's like, she hasn't got her own thoughts, what's happening? And it's almost like you're spamming. I know that's not your intention, and the posts that you've been resharing are really lovely, but don't do it. Comment on them. Everyone in your audience sees those comments, but don't reshare. The resharing of someone's post has to be when somebody says, I worked with Tish and she was amazing. It's that level of importance to reshare.
Okay.
Rather, just so stick to a comment strategy. And if you don't have the time to think of something, comment. But what works for you and what works for everyone, as we've seen, is an image, and it can be a throwback or it can be a current. Quality of the image is important, so it doesn't matter what's happening in the image as long as it's good quality. And then and tell us the story of what you're doing. Tell us that you've moved back home. Tell us that you've just created a logo. Build in public, because you've got everyone, at least in the challenge here, who's going to be so excited to support you.
Okay,
But well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. Tumi, you share and tell us what you...
Oh yeah, so it was also super fun, and it was also nice to like connect with people that are going through the same thing with you. Like we could motivate each other, where some people were not confident in the beginning or they didn't know what to say. So, and we could also support and like each other's posts, which is like a nice boost. Yeah, and I was saying to Tesh that you actually move away from the likes and the reshares, where you like, okay, let me just talk about myself with what I've posted, where my friends or people would come offline to say, wow, thank you for sharing. You're so brave. You know, you'll have supper, where they didn't even comment or like anything, but it actually spoke to them. So for me, it was a sense of making a difference in someone's world, because maybe you're confident enough to be vulnerable online, and then they can see that it's normal that I'm going through that, or that I'm not confident, or that I'm an outcast. So that was quite nice to be able to help people by sharing. And then, yeah, you like saying life was getting so hectic. So I think from my shares, I connected with people from work, and then I got to MC and host the panel discussion for the Sanlam Women's Network, which was pretty awesome in Joburg. So it was nice exposure as well. And then people like, oh my God, you're so awesome. And all of that stuff. It's like, okay, even though I'm super shy, but let me get out there and just like do these things. So it's quite nice, you know, like the exposure that you got as well. So I think I was just like resharing those photos, because I still owe part 2 of those Gen Zs and stuff. But it's nice to be able like to share your story, because nobody else speaks or can look at the world through your lens. So it's nice to be able to share that, you know, like, and I've actually reconnected with a lot of past work people and friends that have messaged me on WhatsApp to say, oh my God, I went through the same thing, those bloody Gen Zs, you know, all of that stuff. It's quite nice that you rekindled relationships from the past, where people message you to say, oh my God, I wonder what you're going to say next. So it's fun to be able to make all of those extra friends and old friends and stuff. I feel like, you know, you feel like an author in your own little book.
Yes.
Of truth bombing.
Oh, that's fantastic. To me, that's great sort of feedback, because it does sometimes feel like the veil between posting on LinkedIn and then real life does sometimes kind of between WhatsApp and this you know, all the online spaces that we show up. And I've heard that from a few people in the challenge. It's lovely to hear that specifically. So for you, it was almost like as you say, a rekindling, but then people seeing something and then WhatsApping you and not actually engaging on LinkedIn, which is so interesting. So interesting. Welcome, Natalie. Hello. We were just going around the room and sharing some stuff. Are you in a meeting? Are you just plugging in and listening, or can you actually speak? What part of the work
I can speak. I can speak. Thank you.
Tish was just sharing how for her it was sort of pushing past loving language but pushing past the fear. Tumi shared just in a quick recap how people, rekindled relationships. At the beginning, Hutting was telling me one-on-one that he's been invited to speak at a conference. We're going to get to Hutting, and he's going to share specifically, because the interesting thing about Hutting's LinkedIn profile is he's actually talking about his leadership development work, not his current job, which is really interesting. It's a lovely example to see how you can do that. Natalie, just any thoughts, feedback, anything that you want to share, good, bad, happy, sad, from your experience in the challenge? So far it's been positive, but really I'm not here to hear positive things. Well, I mean, it's lovely, I'm here to hear that, but it doesn't have to be positive.
For me, it's gotten a bit easier. I think I started off, as you know, Licia, with the fact that there's a lot of fear of putting my opinion out there, and the fear of judgment, the fear of making myself vulnerable. That's lessened quite a bit. I mean, I still double check myself, and I have a very nice, safe network which I bounce things off just to make sure that I've got, whatever I'm putting out there has been considered. Because the last thing you want to do is, like, 3 months down the line have it come back at you, because that's what I'm seeing is that posts kind of reappear, old posts reappear as people come across them. So that for me has been a big thing. It has led to a few opportunities for me as well, which has been quite nice. But it's also stretched me in terms of, like, the pressure to put something out there every week is like, oh shucks, what am I talking about this week? And is what I've got to say of value to anybody? So you do a lot of that questioning. So it hasn't been a bad process, but it has been a little bit of
challenging
personal development and some challenging points. Yeah, that's been my experience from this process.
And I like what you said about, posts are resurfacing. The algorithm is recognizing consistency and value. So something that you wrote 3 months ago and then you've changed your opinion of, which is a nice, which in a way, what I'm hoping the challenge helped with everyone to do is to create the type of content that they want to share. Because it was like, yes, it was in the week, here's a prompt, but there's nothing stopping any of us from thinking of what are the tenets, what are the key kind of principles that we want to talk about on LinkedIn, and how can those look like posts? Where can we add a relevant photograph? And then we post schedule those so that that's done, which leaves us in between time to reshare tests or share something off the cuff. But at least you know that there are these core posts that are going out that you have curated. Natalie, thanks for that input, because also Natalie's in a very, very corporate environment. I mean, when I say very, very, I don't think you get more corporate and bigger than Sasol, and also conservative too. So I honor the kind of like checking in, am I saying something that might kind of reverberate down the line, because that we don't have control over, but we do have control over the tone. So Hutting, please just share. I mean, I've shared the bit about you being asked to speak at a conference, which is great, wonderful results. So that is available here for all of us. We're all sending Tesh great juju that these results are going to convert to her, and she's going to be telling us, I've got a client from my post, or I've got this from my post. Her business is going to launch. Hutting, my question to you is how you feel and how you navigated posting about leadership and what inspires you, and working that and being happy to do that despite it not being your full-time job or your day job, so to speak. Just talk around that, because it's so cool.
I think there's a lot of elements to this whole process that I can talk, so I can actually talk so long. But at first I was very afraid to post on leadership, because it's like, but why are you posting on this? And that's not what you're supposed to. That's not your identity. It's like, okay, but you just don't know me. Those are the thoughts that go through your mind. It's like, well, most people don't even know that I studied on leadership, or the achievements that I got, but it's because I never really actually
posted about it. I never shared my story. I'm one of those people that I tend to keep my story for myself. It's like when Tumi commented on one of my posts, I didn't know the side of you. It's like, that's true, because I never, I rarely share that. I tend to, I hold it for myself. So this was really, to me, it's about, I was very vulnerable. But I think posting on the leadership, because that's, it's a new passion that I developed. But I also had this idea in my mind that this is the route that I should go. And in the process of this, it really actually, somehow, I found a little bit of a connection between what I'm doing in the music industry and the education industry and the leadership. So at first I wanted to split it. I was like, I'm done with this music. I'm done with education. I'm done with this. I want to go with this, because I am a all or nothing type of guy. I find it very difficult to, do a little bit here, do a little bit there, do it. It's like I have to commit myself fully to do something. And I'm still struggling with it. That's why, being consistent with a LinkedIn is difficult for me. But the value, apart from the likes, like you said, Tish, apart from the likes and the reactions, yes, it's like, well, yeah, I got 1,000 reactions or whatever the case may be. There are two connections that I was able to make. One is the conference, which specifically talks about leadership, the lack of leadership within the music industry, music education, conducting industry. So that's a conference I'll be presenting it. And the request was specifically to talk about ethical leadership, what it is to guide conductors. And one would think that conductors actually have that understanding of leadership, but they don't, apparently. So that was the request. And on the other side was also to connect with the professor or somebody from, I can't remember, from Wales, about Ubuntu leadership in South Africa. And because that's something that really has spoken to me ever since I was born, a little boy. And so the whole idea of moving into the leadership, for me, there was a connection. There was an authenticity that actually came about without that being my purpose originally. Well, I was like, I'm just doing this, and I'll see how what's going to come from it. So there was an exploration in it as well for me. So I don't know if what I'm saying is making any sense to anybody.
It's making complete, perfect sense. Certainly, we've got it. Yeah.
And it actually, in some way, it actually allowed me to find my own voice, which I thought I had, but clearly, I had it. It's just developing, and that's.
Thank you for that feedback. I think it made total sense, right, guys? I mean, the wonderful thing for me to observe is how everybody's experience on LinkedIn and journey into any challenge is uniquely theirs, but there is a universal thread of, what have I got to say? I can't say anything. How can I do this? Do I need to post this? Okay, I'm going to do it. I've committed. I'm going to have to get it done. Wow, this actually could help somebody. I'm getting feedback. It is working. And then it's like this beautiful arc that we go along. And part of me is deeply convinced that the more South Africans that show intent and focus and whatever on LinkedIn, the more we get rewarded for that. I mean, this is like anybody can go and say anything on LinkedIn. There is copy and paste AI drivel to absolute lies, to snake oil salesmen, to everything in between, to kind of just us, normal humans wanting to help, sharing our voice, wanting to say what we say. So I, again, am so proud of the results that you achieved, each in your own right. We can't just look at the metrics of likes alone, because we've got to compare that to the size of your audience and how many people. And I mean, there's many different factors there. But at the end of the day, you've said something, you've made a mark, and you've stuck with it. So what I want to share with you in terms of like moving forward content is definitely, as I said to Tesh, like if life is busy, at the very least, comment. But I know Natalie and Tumi and Hatting, I know that you can think of something to say and you can include a picture. I know even if it's late at night and it's like, oh, I haven't do that, just hold yourself accountable to that, because the LinkedIn rhythm is so beautifully noticing you that the last thing you want to do is drop off, because you kind of have to start all over again to pick up that visibility. Natalie, I think if I can use you as an example and share that before the challenge, Natalie and I worked together 8 years ago, and then before the challenge we reconnected, and she just needed some help to be able to get some visibility on her brand and LinkedIn going. So we did a content creation plan, and she stuck with Fridays. And so she had a bit of a run up into the challenge, and I said to her, don't change anything. But Natalie went from no posting on LinkedIn at all, resharing posts, to really getting some good quality posts out there. And the visibility is phenomenal, Natalie. Like, each time you post, and you don't do much else. It's like you just have that Friday post. You just have that thing. Yes, in the challenge, you've been engaging more on other people's content, but before the challenge, you were posting once a week and getting great results. How brilliant is that? That if we can just do this once a week, the results are still there. Would you agree, Nat?
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that when you gave us the guidance for this challenge, it's about making sure that we don't create an anxiety for ourselves. About, oh gosh, I've got to post. So, for instance, for me, I have my post ready. I just haven't posted it from last week, so I know I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, because this is something. But just as you said, to keep the momentum. And the one thing Licia made me do when we started to re-engage a few months ago is like put down 10 things that I perceived as my form of success, and to write posts relative to these issues. I have not used one of them yet, because from week to week, I've been inspired by what is happening around me. And those are those 10, 12 elements are the things I'm looking for. Like, okay, I want to find a gap to create that content, so that when my crazy happens again, I'm not stressing about what to post. But it's a very big shift in my approach, because from that, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of what I'm going to say, how it's going to be received, to gosh, I need to prepare a whole lot of stuff so that I have something to go out and I can keep that momentum. And that's been the great thing for me, I think.
Oh, wonderful. And thank you for referring to the 10 things, because it can be as simple as that. Hatting and Tesh, just think about, yes, you've come from a challenge where there was particular purpose, position, but now for the rest of the year, what are 10 things or 12 things, so that it gives you 4 posts for October, 4 for November, and 4 for December. 12 points around your success, what you've achieved. Tesh, it could be things that you've done in the past from a marketing perspective. Hatting, it can be a combination of educate and inspire, what your leadership coaching is like, and so forth. Just jot down 12 points, and then you start crafting out posts around that. I also want to ask all of you and encourage all of you to go back to your posts from the challenge and look at the comments. And you can screen print and save some of those comments, because that becomes really great stuff you could potentially embed into an article or a newsletter series. Tumi and I are doing some work together, and she's got a newsletter series that's going to start coming out. And in the posts that she's written, she can go back and look at that. So it's not really about having to recreate content again and again and again. You've created content in a month's period. I honestly believe that you just have to work hard on your LinkedIn game for 90 days. Same with your career. You just have to do hard work on your career for 90 days to be able to get some really great results. So Hatting and Tesh, you shared some amazing things in your previous posts. Keep those links. Look at what some of the thoughts that you shared there, some of the comments, and repurpose those. Use those again. If you feel like, where do I begin and where do I start? But then Tumi also mentioned it. She's got to come back and tell us more about the Gen Z series. That's also a nice thing to do, is you start creating content around a series. So you might, Tesh, your series might be building my business out. And I did a logo. One week it's a logo, and the next week it's I registered a Google My Business page, or whatever the steps might be. Hatting, something similar for you in terms of the connection between leadership development and choreography and music. What could one connection be? Is it about the note? Is it about reading? Is it about playing in an orchestra, a band? You know, think about what are these things, and then talk about a series. And then people might not know it's a series, but you can communicate it by saying, I'll be sharing for the next couple of posts, I'll be sharing about my experience with Gen Z in Tumi's case, or the you know, how similar music conducting is to leadership development, building a business, because then it gives you a specific focus. So what the challenge did, apart from community, but you've always got this community, because everybody here is now on the online Inspire Visibility community, which is the name of a group that I can't believe I came up with, because I sometimes forget what is the group called. So it's OIVC, Online Inspire Visibility Community. It's there. Use it. Ask questions, lean into it, tag each other, engage. Like, I would love, and I'm going to suggest that before we end, but you've got the community. You've absolutely got it there. So what's stopping you from really leaning into this thing called LinkedIn? And like Garth Manty shared with me when I did the Career Revolution thing, he was like, is he going to be as good as his best post? We become a little bit attached to, can we repeat this? Natalie, there might be Fridays where you've been thinking, wow, can I keep this momentum going? Is it going to drop off? Who knows? Does it matter if it does? Who cares? You just stay consistent. You do the best for you and gamify it. So I definitely want you to think of ways that you can invite some play and fun and gamification into what is actually phenomenal that you're doing, which is kind of slaying the have I got anything important to say dragon, which we all have to. I feel that every time I post on LinkedIn. Every time I go there, it's like, is this relevant? Is it? I mean, we wouldn't be human if we didn't have those feelings. Those feelings are never going to go away. We're just going to get smarter, strategic, have some anchor posts. What do you want to say for the rest of the year? Create content around those anchor posts. Leave it up to your, you know, then you've got other days to be posting off the cuff or what have you. But really it's about gamification, leaning into making it super fun. So my bonus that I promised for all of you is I'm leaving the portal open for the rest of the month of September, because I can see where you all are at, and nobody's at 100%. Nobody. I think like Hutting's at 70, Jackie's at like 65, but ain't nobody at 100%. So really I want you to get the most out of it, to tinker away and work with it. But that is on condition that you use the invitation of gamification and making it fun in whatever way that looks like, and you lean into the online Inspire Visibility community. It's a private group. The algorithm for groups is nonsense. So, I mean, you don't often see those posts, but if you click the alert, you get them. But I'll kind of, you know, I tend to like and make sure that the post, or tag people in the post. But I'd like to invite you to bring some, how could you make it different or fun, or how could you share something about what your experience and the challenge has been in the online Inspire Visibility community to inspire somebody else, to get somebody else going. I mean, I'm open to a bunch of different ideas. Tesh, you might decide I'm actually going to take over that group and tell everyone what I'm doing while I post. Hatting, you might decide I'm just going to challenge people to post something. Or Natalie, you say these are the last Friday posts that I've shared. Who can take this message and use something similar? Or to me, you might decide who else has a leopard print coat and who's going to write about it. So basically what I'm saying is play in the group and have fun. The right people will respond and connect. I'm not asking you to get all 200 odd people in the group engaged on LinkedIn, but do it for yourself because it'll keep the momentum going. And it's a nice, strange sort of, it's a private community. You can say anything there that's not on LinkedIn, but it actually is in LinkedIn. And it starts keeping those muscles loose. So see the Online Inspire community as a bit of a oil to the engine of the car when you know you want to keep driving. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's it. That's what I would love you to do. You can, like, here's my favorite song and I'm thinking about writing a post or whatever. I know 2025 is like throwing the stuff on all of our plates. Like, it's a busy year. It's the world is not slowing up. Then one thing for sure is that our meaning, our purpose, our visibility feels lighter when we can channel a little bit of a play ethic, play and have fun. And we definitely shift people's thinking through kindness and play and, you know, being positive and happy rather than serious and unenthusiastic and what have you. Does that make sense? Not expressing it as well as I imagined in my head that I would, but
no, it's perfect. I get it. I
cool.
think it's really
like,
needed. And, yeah,
yeah,
LinkedIn makes you so scared, and you're just like, these are humans, man.
these exactly. We're like all a bunch of humans. So I'm thinking of changing the OIVC to OIVC playground, community and visibility. Like, see it as a playground of experimentation, and that's it. So that's the bonus. That's the invitation. Well, the bonus is the portal stays open, but with that, the group continues to be a playground for all of you. And any questions, any concerns, anything that anybody wants to ask, or like, what about this, or this doesn't make sense, or anything. I'm just checking in the WhatsApp group because I feel terrible. Robin actually tried to join and I meant to accept, but I clicked the wrong thing. But she'll get the recording. Lovely.
I think yeah, no, thanks.
From us. Yeah, it was fun.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool,
that's
cool.
really
Cool.
And
Thank you for
I think you're so right when you say people don't know people. Like, there's so much that we actually don't tell the world.
Yes.
We are not linear people. We are multifaceted, and I love that. Thank you for sharing that. You've given me like so much strength to do mine as well.
That's nice.
Fantastic. Great, guys. It's such an honor to work with such an amazing bunch of South Africans who are brave and courageous. I pinch myself that this gets to be the work that I get to do. And I love creating LinkedIn challenges. I've been doing this since, like, creating LinkedIn challenges, I mean, from the very beginning, and there's always space and place for this to develop and grow. I love that I've now got the portal, so we're going to continue to lean into that, and it's just going to get bigger and better. You were the kind of maiden cohort of the portal challenge, because it always used to get run on WhatsApp previously, and your grandparented in, so that comes with some cool, exciting things too. But yeah, let's continue to support each other, have fun, just focus on those key tenets. What do you want the world to know about you? Create posts around that and lean in. Like, the more people that are visible, the more people that keep showing up and saying things. It's my secret social activism, because it ripples. It ripples around communities and spaces, and Africans need a stronger voice on LinkedIn. It is very Northern Hemisphere, the West based. India has a massive contingency on LinkedIn, and we hardly even see it because we're not there. And many of, it's just such a different market in terms of distance and so forth. But connect with somebody who's actually based in India and see what they're doing. It's a whole, like, other world of exciting stuff. LinkedIn is not America, and it's not Britain. So we can curate our feeds to bring in more voices. And yeah, that's all that I really had to say. I didn't really plan anything specific other than hearing from all of you guys. So I've been taking some screen prints, and I want to get rid of the Fathom. I'm actually going to exit my note taker from the meeting for our group photo, because it really doesn't